All right, so today we were all set to dive into something truly epic from the Mahabharata, the legendary wrestling match between Karna and Jarasandha. But as we were putting this explainer together, we ran into, well, a pretty huge and frankly bizarre problem with our source material. And that's actually what we need to talk about today. This is a story about what happens when the very foundation of an explainer just isn't there.
So, our agenda for today is going to look a little different than usual. We'll kick things off with the incredible story we wanted to tell you, but then we're going to have to get into the source material we were given, talk about a core principle we live by here, and finally, share the decision we had to make.
You know, we were so excited to break this one down. The intended story was this legendary duel between Karna, the formidable king of Anga, and the absolute titan, Jarasandha. It's such a cool story, showing how a crazy, fierce rivalry actually blossomed into a powerful alliance.
Usually, the big question in a story like this is pretty straightforward. What happens when two unstoppable forces collide? But for us, a completely different question came up. What happens when the source material for such an amazing story is, well, complete gibberish? And that's exactly where our journey took a very sharp, unexpected turn.
Okay, so here's the thing. Every single explainer we produce is built directly on top of its source material. We're here to distill it, to clarify it, but we never, ever invent it. For this topic, we were given a transcript from a popular video that was supposed to detail the whole duel.
So, this is it. I'm not kidding. This is the complete, unedited source text we received to build our entire explainer on one of the greatest duels in the Mahabharata. As you can pretty clearly see, it's not a story.
And I really want to be crystal clear here. This is not a snippet. It's not a corrupted piece of a file. This string of random, disconnected words is literally the entirety of the information we had to work with. So yeah, that presented a bit of a challenge.
And that challenge, it brings us right to the heart of what this show is all about, our core principle. We create explainers based only on the sources we're given. We explain, we don't invent, period.
We call this source integrity. It's our promise to you, our audience, that everything you see and hear from us is a faithful, honest representation of the source. Without that, the trust you place in us is broken, and that's just not an option.
This slide really just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, that's what a source for this topic should look like. A narrative, motivations, key events. On the right is what we actually got, a word salad with zero context. There's no way to build a bridge from one to the other. So all of this leads us to the final verdict. It was a decision our production team had to make sure we never compromise the integrity of what we do.
See, every source we get goes through a little quality check. We receive it, we check to see if it makes any sense, then we figure out if there's a real story there. Only after all that do we decide to proceed. Our source for this topic? It failed, spectacularly, at step 2.
So, the final call was simple. We can't proceed. Production for the explainer on the duel between Karna and Jarasandha has been blocked. We just can't, in good faith, create something from nothing. It wouldn't be right.
At the end of the day, the source failed every single one of our standards. It was meaningless. Building a story would have meant just making one up, which completely violates our commitment to you. The only responsible thing to do is to go find a new, valid source. And because we believe in being totally transparent with you, I want to share a line directly from our producer's notes on this. It says, proceeding with the current material would compromise the integrity and quality of the explainer. And that is a line we are just never willing to cross. So while we couldn't bring you that epic duel today, we hope this gives you a little insight into our commitment to getting it right. It brings up a pretty interesting question for all of us, right? In this age of automated content, how can we make sure the information we consume is actually built on a solid foundation? For us, it meant we had to hit the brakes. Thank you so much for your understanding. We are already hard at work trying to secure a proper source, and we'll be back soon with the explainer you were promised.